if I was in a test, right, and it goes, write this as a single fraction, okay? So if I'm writing this as a single fraction, imagine a much simpler question, like, I don't know, a third plus a fifth, okay? If you did a third plus a fifth in junior cert, right, what you guys would have done was you go, I need the lowest common denominator. The lowest common denominator is, I'm going to put 5 here, a 5 here top and bottom, because I need to turn it into 15ths. A 3 here top and bottom, because I need to turn it into 15ths as well. I'm going to get 5 over 15 plus 3 over 15, and the answer is 8 over 15. The answer is 8 over 15. Am I allowed to get rid of the bottom?
No.
No, because 8 over 15 is not the same thing as 8. So you're only allowed to cross off stuff when when you're solving it. Okay, so you're only allowed to cross off the bottoms in solved questions. Okay, so you'll see the next one's a solved question, but this one is an express question. Write it as a single fraction. So we're going to use the same logic here, and what we're going to do is we're going to look at these two fractions here, and we're going to see what is the lowest common denominator. Remember what we did in the last one? We had a third and a fifth. The denominator here ended up over here. And this denominator here ended up over here. So they basically took the denominator they didn't have already. So if I wrote this out like this, x plus 1 plus 1 over x minus 1.
There's 3 different lines.
I don't do the lines anymore. There was a way to do it with lines as well. But what we're more or less doing is we just pick the other denominator, top and bottom. And then pick the other denominator, top and bottom. Now what Connor's talking about is the line method. We can also do that. Line method is, you basically do this. 1, 2, 3. Anybody remember that?
Yeah.
Now, the third line means multiply both denominators by each other. Do you see that? Do you see the small line here? That one basically means multiply both denominators by each other, which will account for this part here and this part here. The red line indicates move this denominator here beside the number 1, as shown here. The yellow line, which is now here, that indicates that you put the x plus 1 beside the 1, as shown here. So it's still the same thing. The 3 lines is the same thing as what we did. Whatever one suits you. Okay? Now once you've done that, what I'm going to say next is you leave the denominator as it is on the bottom. X plus 1 over x minus 1. And then you multiply it out. What happens when you multiply it out? What you get?
1x minus 1.
X minus 1 plus x plus 1, and you get 2x all over x plus 1, x minus 1. Now, it says hence or otherwise. We can use our answer from part 1, or we can start it from scratch. Okay? Now, if I'm in a test and I see this sort of stuff here in a solved question, what does that usually mean? When I see something like that in a solved question, it needs the minus b formula is going to be used at the very end. So I'm going to write down the minus b formula right at the start of the question. And long story short, lads, if I don't get a quadratic equation, and I don't get a minus b formula, I've done the whole thing wrong. I'm completely on the wrong path. Right, David? Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to start from scratch the way we did it in class. Okay, we have x plus 1 here, and then 1 over x minus 1. Okay, we're going to start it off like we did in class, and what we're going to get is the number 2. What denominator or what numbers on the bottom does the 2 not have? There's 3 denominators on the bottom. There's green, blue, and red. You want all 3 of them in every fraction. So what do I have to put beside the number 2 here? I have to put in x plus 1 and x minus 1. And what I do to the bottom, I must do to the top. Okay? What about the middle one?
2.
Have to put a 2 and what else? A 2 and a x minus 1. So that's bracket 2, bracket x minus 1. And then on the last one,
2 and x plus 1.
a 2 and an x plus 1. And once again on the bottom, 2 and x plus 1. What have I effectively done to all the bottoms? And when I make them all the same, you cross them out, okay? So once I've made them all the same, that's them gone. Okay? Now what I have to do is I carefully have to multiply them out. Okay? So to multiply these out, what I'm going to need to do is I can ignore the 1, can't I? Because once multiplied by anything is whatever it is anyway. Okay? So we're going to multiply this out. So x by x.
Not remove all the ones then.
X squared. I can, yeah, I will do, Dennis. X by minus 1. And then plus 1x. Then minus 1. Okay. Now, next one here. What's 1 multiplied by 2? 2. So in effect, the 1 doesn't exist. Multiply both of them by 2.
2x and minus 2.
2x minus 2. And then once again, the 1 might as well not be there. So go again.
2x plus 2.
Okay. Now, it's looking more like what I'm looking for. Okay. What about the 2's?
Cancel.
Minus 2 and plus 2 cancel. Minus 1 and plus 1? Cancel. Now bring
2x's now.
2x plus 2x. 4x when it moves to the other side.
Minus 4x minus 1.
Now, in all quadratic equation, lads, what comes first? X squared, or number?
X squared.
Squared
Minus 4x.
minus 4x minus 1 equals 0. Now, and only now, are you at the time for the minus b formula. It's a very long question. If such a question was to come up in your leaving cert, it's going for big marks. Okay?
How many marks per se?
Could be like a 20 pointer, 15 to 20 pointer, which is pretty good.
How many marks will be in the science?
Usually around 270, 300. Now, what we're looking at here, guys, is you have to figure out what each number is. So what's in your maths tables, you're going to have this formula here. You're going to have the formula. You're going to have ax squared plus bx plus c, and that is located beside the minus b formula. What does this formula, now shaded in yellow, tell you about our formula down below? It tells us the a, b and c values. A is the value that comes in front of x squared, which is 1. B is minus 4.
C is minus 1.
C is minus 1. Now, it's very important to do. We're going to be doing this one here now, and what we're going to get is we're going to get x squared. We're going to get a. Plug it in. We get minus b is going to be what, guys?
Plus 4.
Plus 4. So it's going to be 4 plus or minus the square root of minus 4 squared minus 4 times 1 times minus 1. And that's all going to be over 2a. Why have you guys trained to do this a certain way? What way do I tell you to do this? Sorry?
Everything in square root.
Everything in the square root first. So, everything here, guys, you're going to go to your calculator. You're going to take, a very massive, and I mean every year, people use plus and not minus. It's in the formula that it's minus. Keep it as a minus, okay? So, what I want to do here is it's going to be square root of minus 4 squared. And then you're going to have your minus 4 times 1 times minus 1. And then... Sorry? They should both work. I just tend to by habit. Now 2 root 5. Keep it as 2 root 5. Okay? So we're going to have next is we're going to have 4 plus or minus 2 root 5 all over 2. So it's 4 on top plus or minus 2 root 5 all over 2. Now guys, we're going to have to divide these by 2. So once again what I'm saying is, why take the risk on the day when you can just once again come back here and just go, okay, it's going to be 4 plus 2 root 5 all over 2. And trust me, every year there's silly mistakes in here. And there we go. First answer is 2 plus root 5. Now guys, if it asks for in decimal mode, very easy. Just press that button there. 4.24. No worries. Now to save yourself time with the test, how do you find out the second answer? The second answer is the minus form. Just go in, delete, and then change to minus. And there you go, 2 minus root 5 or minus 0.24. Alright.
How does that make sense or minus 0?
Sorry? Minus 0.23. It's like owing somebody 24 cents. You're negative 24 cents. What? Okay guys, so